Viacom International Media Networks CEO on working more closely with the U.S. growth drivers. Viacom early this year promoted David Lynn to the role of President and CEO of Viacom International Media Networks, VIMN. Based in London, but also regularly working out of New York, the former president of VIMN's operations in the UK, Northern and Eastern Europe now has management oversight of all of Viacom and number 39's media networks and related businesses outside the US, reporting to Viacom CEO Bob Bakish. Viacom-branded networks reach more than 4.1 billion cumulative subscribers in more than 180 countries and territories via more than 290 locally programmed and operated channels in more than 40 languages. For the latest fiscal year, ended in September, VIMN number 39's revenue increased 12% to $2.13 billion, or about 16% of the company, and number 39's total revenue of $13.26 billion, as advertising rose 14% and affiliate revenue climbed 6%. After nearly a year in his post, Lynn talked to THR about how VIMN has become a laboratory of sorts for experiments with new business models at Viacom, how his team has increased original content spending, the outlook for bringing more international shows to the US, and how business is doing in such key markets as the UK, India and Argentina, but also Russia and China. You are nearly a year into your tenure as head of the international networks business, a role you took over from Bob Bakish, who is now Viacom and number 39's CEO. How is business doing and what's been your focus? I can and number 39's believe it and number 39's coming up to a year already. It and number 39's been an incredible year. VIMN is becoming an increasingly important part of Viacom from a revenue and operating income perspective. It and number 39's increasingly meaningful, and we have got strong growth. This year, the fiscal year ended in September, we grew revenues by 12% and operating income by 12% as well. That and number 39's driven by two things. First of all, we got growth in the core business, and at the same time, we are accelerating the transformation of the business model. On the core business side, we still have growth, albeit it's slowing growth across international. Pay TV penetration is 50%, so we still see good growth opportunity there, and we are really well positioned for it, and the results really demonstrate that and our competitive advantage. From a reach perspective, we have the largest worldwide TV footprint, we have 300 channels, 4.3 billion cumulative households. I believe we got an unrivaled portfolio of brands, and all the brands are performing really strongly. For the first time last year we had growth across all our key brands. What and number 39's been driving that? We have got the strong US pipeline, but now increasingly as well we have a strong international pipeline, be it English language, even Hindi and now also Spanish language. So we are significant producers of content now as well. The other thing we have on the core business side is deep partnerships with advertisers and affiliates. As well as growing the core, we are obviously focused on transforming the business, particularly on the OTT side. Is international a test market for Viacom, or an experimental lab if you will? As well as us being a more meaningful contributor to Viacom financially, we are also increasingly important in terms of trialing new business models and new products across international. Innovation has been one of the key points this year that I have really been pushing. OTT is already a meaningful growth driver for us. We have had over 20% growth per annum over the last 3 years, and this year we anticipate OTT revenues will be around 15% of our total distribution revenues. So it and number 39's is already meaningful. But in terms of innovation this year, there have been some great new firsts. We had our first deals for Playplex, the company and number 39's suite of mobile TV apps, with mobile operators in Indonesia and Singapore. We did our first Paramount Plus deal in the Nordics where we have combined all our VIMN content under the Paramount umbrella and we put in Paramount first-run movies. We launched OTT channels in Japan. We launched MTV Mix with Hulu, but excitingly also announced VIMN 39 rebringing Nick Japan back to the Japanese market in a deal with NTT Docomo and number 39 SDTV channel. That and number 39 the first time Nick is back in Japan, after the linear network closed down in 2009, and it and number 39 driven by an OTT opportunity. We also have the VOOT service in India, which launched in 2016 and already has 25 million monthly average users, the third biggest video platform in India. All of these ideas we have the ability to pilot in a market and see what works and then scale rapidly across international and even globally now. So from an innovation perspective, we are really driving the business forward. And in terms of diversifying revenues, real-world revenues is an increasingly important opportunity for us. Consumer products is long established, but has grown tremendously over the past year on the back of Paw Patrol. But we in number 39 redoing more in the recreation space. We have done theme parks in China, we have done Inic Hotel in the Dominican Republic. And we are doing more on the events side. Around 900,000 people attended our international events last year. Is it true that MTV in Japan now has more users on mobile than on traditional pay TV? And what does that tell us about mobile? Japan is a great success. We launched MTV Hits on the ABEMA, Internet TV, service, which is an advertising VOD service, and the consumption on that is higher than the consumption we are seeing on the traditional MTV service. But we are actually seeing record ratings on our traditional MTV service at the same time, so it has actually lifted both. It increased our reach and lifted the performance of our existing service. That speaks to the opportunity. Pay TV penetration is less than 50% across international, and we think that mobile OTT is going to drive the next wave of growth. We are having numerous conversations with mobile operators around the world and have 75 OTT deals around the world. The mobile opportunity in particular is nascent and one that I and number 39 am excited about over the next year. In the US, direct-to-consumer has been such a focus as of late. What have you seen in terms of interest in direct-to-consumer services abroad? The point for international is that lower pay TV penetration. And if you take markets like Japan where pay TV penetration is less than 30%, there is a huge amount of upside through OTT and mobile. Indonesia is another example. Pay TV penetration there is only 11%. So in some territories you have got the opportunity for mobile or OTT to leapfrog pay TV. That said, we are still working with our multi-channel video programming distributor, MVPD, partners to help drive their business as well. It and number 39 has been a big part of our strategy to deepen that partnership over the last few years to give them more rights so they can compete in the OTT world and through products like Playplex. We see it as very much a growth opportunity on the core business side and in OTT. What and number 39 interesting on the direct-to-consumer side is working in partnership with mobile operators, working with people who have that established subscriber base and relationship. You mentioned Paramount Plus, which got quite some attention when you unveiled it. Is that one of those ideas you expect to take to more markets? It and number 39 certainly my ambition to roll out more Paramount Plus. It and number 39 a great product. It and number 39 great to have all the content under the Paramount umbrella brand, and it just shows how we increasingly operate on a much more joined-up basis across all of Viacom. That has been a great partnership between us and Paramount Pictures. How is the Bet app doing in international markets? How appealing is that brand outside the US? Bet generally and international has been growing. We recently announced our first Bet channel in Asia and Korea. So it does show that there is a fan base across the globe, and we have been growing the Bet subscribers over the last few years on traditional TV. And we thought that there is an opportunity through an OTT direct-to-consumer app to reach those fans no matter where they are. So we launched it and are happy with the results so far. It is reaching those communities and fans across the world that want to tap into bet content. By doing that, you can then demonstrate that there is demand in markets, and it may lead to traditional bet channel deals in those markets. What's the growth outlook for Viacom International Media Networks? We still see growth on the traditional core business and we are seeing rapid growth on the OTT side. I and number 39 am very confident about our growth prospects for the business. We have strong momentum. You have an increased focus on creating international content versus just distributing existing shows. Will that mean that more international shows and formats will end up coming to Viacom and number 39's US networks? From a content perspective, we are increasingly an important contributor and an investor and producer in content for Viacom overall. We spend over $1 billion on content and marketing across VIMN, so we are a meaningful player. Our strategy combines our global pipeline and an international and local pipeline to make our content as strong across every platform and screen as possible and increasingly to give that deeper engagement at the local level. Viacom invests $4 billion a year in the global pipeline, and that and number 39's the backbone of our schedules. The fact that the US is now focused on the flagship 6 is fantastic, because they are the 6 brands we are also growing out internationally. So having more of the investment focused on those 6 brands is very important from an international perspective. All the hits from the US, Floribama, Paw Patrol, South Park or Lip Sync Battle, are incredibly strong drivers for us internationally. But we have also been focusing on growing our own international content business. On the reality side, we have been developing our own formats. X on the Beach and Just the Two of Us are good examples there. On the Nick side, from a live-action perspective, we have been making English and local language versions of De Ludwigs from Holland became Hunter Street. Yo Soy Frankie from Latin America became I Am Frankie. That demonstrates how we are approaching this much more globally. That and number 39's something I have been pushing in my first year as CEO, to operate much more globally. On the Nickelodeon side, we have a long, great established partnership with Nickelodeon in the US. Last year, we had 7 shows in various stages of development with Nick US that will go out across the network globally. But increasingly we are doing more with the other US brands. MTV is a great example. Teen Mom UK actually played out on the US channel and did super well, and the US is also looking at taking some of the international formats, such as X on the Beach and Just the Two of Us. Out of the over $1 billion that you mentioned VIMN spends on content and marketing, how much is spending on original content nowadays? It is a significant portion. It and number 39's a significant investment and contributor, and there is much more opportunity to partner with the US on that area more. At Channel 5, we now use 65%-70% of our content budget, excluding marketing, on original content. You have been shooting various regional versions of the same VIMN show in some cases and doing more co-productions between different parts of your global operation. We have been investing in what I call smart, efficient production methods. We had a show, Ridiculousness, which we produced out of our hub in Madrid last year. We did 8 versions of Ridiculousness in parallel for 8 different regions, which was fantastic and performed really well across those regions. We are also doing co-productions between the different regions. For example, Super Shore is a co-production between the Latin American and Southern Europe team. It and number 39's rated really well between the two. We have got co-productions between our Cornerstone and Pay networks, for example Canigulibur between Telfa in Argentina and MTV. Viacom acquired Argentine network Telfa a little more than a year ago. How has that been going and how key is Telfa as a production hub for VIMN? I am very pleased that the integration has gone very well and the business has performed very strongly. It is one of our cornerstones. Like Channel 5 in the UK, the aim here is to give us more scale from a revenue perspective, both ad sales and affiliate fees. And from a content perspective, on the revenue side, what we are seeing in Argentina and beyond in Latin America is we are number 39 re-getting advertisers who were on free TV who are now advertising on pay. And the much stronger content offering is strengthening our affiliate relationships. And we got a lot of content sharing between the businesses as well. I mentioned Caniggia Liber. We also have got MTV News on TELF, Nick Jr. is on TELF, you have got some Comedy Central stand-up there. And Cali and number 39 S mashup is shared between TELF and Nickelodeon Latin America. One of the exciting opportunities of TELF is it and number 39 S a significant producer of content. They make 3,000 hours a year. We see big opportunity to exploit that content across Americas, even into Europe.